Hello all. So this program is about filtering the strings which have some substring in common. So here the question is given like given a list of strings and in that list of strings filter out the ones containing some specific substring and then concatenate them into a single string. That is whatever the string is given we have to take a particular substring in common in all the strings, all the words which are given, and then whatever the words which are having the substring that has to be concatenated. So that's the question here. So here we have multiple inputs and multiple outputs to be calculated. So the multiple inputs are nothing but a list of strings. So as because the question is given as a list of strings, I have to use a list for that strings because multiple inputs I'm going to give. So I'm using list as arrays and list. And then the question is filter out the ones containing specific substrings. So here I have to filter out. So while using filter, it comes with the collectors. So I have to use collections, streams. And all these things can be done as a separate class. So when I'm going for a separate class, I have to use this as a static value because I have to use multiple input values. So what are the multiple input processes I have to do? First thing is I have to get the list of strings. Second thing, so when I am getting, first thing, the list of strings I have to get, and the second thing, I have to substring it. So how I have to substring? By some filter value. So I have to give some filter value by using a substring value, by fixing it or assigning it. And then I have to give value for storing the filter and concatenated value also. So after giving those things, I have to print the result. So these four tasks has to be done. So I have to get the input and then I have to get the substring which is has to be understood in that whether present in the string or not. Then I have to filter and concatenate it and then only I can print the result. So these are the four things which I have to do. And all these things can be done only by filtering out and collecting it by using the separate classes. So here I'm using all these values in static value. So I'm using separate class name as string here filter and concatenate, and in that I have already used the list string list because here we have used the string list, so that I'm calling here. So I will be getting all the inputs here in the private value. And then what I have to do, what is the subset? So what is the subset? Subset is string substring to filter. So this also I have called here. So string substring to filter, that also I have called. And then the result. So the result has to filter and concatenate here. So for that, I will use the result to store here. And the concatenated results can print out here. So that is why I have used filter and concatenate as the resultant value, which will call the string list and substring to filter. So already it is using that only. So here I am using this filter and concatenate as the name. Now, here I'm calling a new object name called concatenated result. That is the final output. How the final output should be. So now we have to filter. So before filtering, we know that we have to use stream. So what is the list name? So list name, that is the object name dot stream I have to use. So the object name of the list is string list. So string list dot stream, and then I have to use filter. So what I have to filter? I have to filter the substring to filter. Whatever it is present here, that I have to filter from the inputs. So here I am using a separate name as yes. Yes, which contains these values, a substring to filter, which contains substring to filter. That is, if this particular and is present, it has to be moved to yes. And where it should be collected to list. So here I'm using joining here. So in the collectors, I have to use joining because I have to concatenate it. Therefore, I am using joining here. And then return, because we don't have this void or main, we have to use return as the value. So here return the concatenated result, that is the object name I have to use. So it will be returning again back to the original form. So now this output, that is the result, will be displayed here when I give this filtered and concatenated result. So now let us check for the output. So here before that, manually we will calculate. Input is apple, banana, orange, grape, and kiwi, and pear. So here the value, the substring is given as an. So an is present in banana. That 2 times it is present, and in orange it is an is present. Grape, kiwi, and pear, it is no, there is no an. That's so the absence of substring. So here the output must be this concatenation of banana and orange. So it should be in a combined form. So that should be the output. So let's check whether we are getting. So the filtered and the concatenated result is the result which concatenate banana and orange. Yes. So it is concatenated. Thank you.